I got a quick story for you. A few years ago, I saw a single mom with two or three young children that was riding a bus everywhere she went. And I was familiar with her, and I asked her, I said, "Why do you take the bus everywhere you go?" And she said, "Well, I don't have a car." And I said, "Well, I have a extra car that I'm not using. It was a little Ford Escort, long time ago, and I really didn't need it. It didn't cost a lot, but it did run well." And I asked her, I said, "Would you like a car?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, I would love a car." And I said, "Look, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the car free and clear." It was a straight drive. She said she didn't know how to drive one, so I even took her and showed her how to drive it, and she became really good at it. And I said, "Well, look, now you've got a car. You don't have to take the bus and haul your kids back and forth on the bus anymore." And she said, "Well, that sounds great." And so I had given somebody a car, and I felt like a big man. It just boosted my ego knowing, hey, I gave away a car. It made me feel like Oprah, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. And it did. It made me feel kind of prideful. Well, a few months later, I noticed that she was riding the bus again, and I was a little bit confused. And I met up with her and I said, "Hey, I noticed that you're not driving the car anymore, that you're back riding the bus." And she said, "Yeah, I really didn't know how to tell you this, but after you gave me the car, it was really nice being able to drive it around. It was really convenient. But with my budget and my income," she said, I couldn't afford to put insurance on it. I couldn't afford to put gas in it. I couldn't afford to do the maintenance on it. I couldn't pay the taxes on it. She said, "To be honest with you, it was a blessing that you gave it to me, but it really did turn into a burden that I wasn't ready for and I couldn't handle. So I had to let it go, and I did sell it, and I used the money to buy groceries and clothes for my kids." And I said, "Well, I completely understand." And that kind of deflated my ego a whole lot, that I had given somebody a car and it was something that they weren't prepared for, wasn't ready for, and couldn't maintain. And I didn't even think that there was so much cost involved with owning a car, that this lady and her financial situation couldn't afford that. I'm just like anybody else. I want good things. I want to be blessed, but I would much rather the Lord withhold something from me that I think is going to be a blessing, but that He knows if He gives it to me at that moment that I'm asking for it, that it's going to end up being a burden and a responsibility that I can't handle and that I'm not ready for. I had a pastor one time that used to say it's a whole lot better to want something you don't have than to have something you don't want.